Web 3.0 has the potential to change the internet as we know it forever. You're still early in catching the trend and building your first blockchain application, acquiring the skills to get a high-paying job, or creating your own Web 3 projects that can make you money. The future of the web isn't just coming, it's here and it's growing fast. So hi there and welcome to this video. Since the world of Web 3 is entirely new, I've decided to provide you with the entire roadmap on how you can learn it, step by step. Starting with any new technologies can be overwhelming. Trust me, I know. This Web 3 roadmap will guide you from bare beginnings to complete mastery. We will cover everything from the essential building blocks of blockchain all the way to the most modern Web 3 technologies. By the end of this video, you'll know precisely what you need to do to become an outstanding blockchain developer. Alongside this video, I've also prepared a complete Web 3 roadmap and a Solidity cheat sheet that covers everything you need to become a fantastic Web 3 developer. It is linked down in the description. The guides cover everything in step-by-step instructions and even include blockchain project ideas that you can build, deploy, and put in your portfolio to get a job. You can download these ultimate guides and use them as a reference on your Web 3 development journey whenever you're unsure what to learn next. The link to these comprehensive guides is in the description. And best of all, it is entirely free. So make sure to pause this video right now, scroll down, and download the guide. Still, I'd strongly recommend watching this video until the end. Although the guides are excellent as quick reference points, this video will provide you with everything you need to become a professional Web 3 developer. This video is brought to you by Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of inspiring classes for anyone who wants to learn new skills. As I was in the process of creating the ultimate Web 3 developer roadmap, as you saw in the intro, I needed to revisit Web 3 from bare beginnings. That's why I browsed the courses in Skillshare and stumbled upon Web 3 Crash Course by Josh Snow. If you're a more experienced developer, you'll love their more advanced courses. If you sign up right now, you can start learning for free with the unique free trial link in the description. The first 1,000 people to use the link on my description box or my code JavaScript Mastery will get a 1-month free trial of Skillshare. Web 3 is a fascinating field to work in. Use this video as a roadmap that will lead you to become a Web 3 developer. Before we dive into the roadmap, first we need to understand what exactly Web 3 is. And for that, we need to understand the differences between Web 1, Web 2, and finally, Web 3. Web 1.0 refers to the first stage of the World Wide Web. Between 1991 and 2004, we saw the first generation of the internet, which was mostly a bunch of static sites. The web looked something like this. It was mostly just one big website, including hyperlinks to different sites. Whenever you loaded up a site, they just showed some stuff, and that's it. We can say that it was a read-only web. There were zero interactions. There were no things such as authentication, comments, and analytics. It was just a one-way communication tool. During this time, internet users were just consumers. They went to the internet to consume information. Then Web 2.0 was born. Web 2.0 started forming around 2004, and it is still improving. During this time, the web evolved a lot. The boring read-only pages were replaced by Web 2's interactivity, social connectivity, and user-generated content. Interactivity was the main change in the web. Now, the users not only consume the information from the web page, but can also interact and send information through the website. The names like Web 1, Web 2, and Web 3 don't necessarily correlate with specific web technologies. Rather, they explain how the web is being used. For example, Web 2 is all about interaction and collaboration in a social media dialogue. As you know, today we watch a lot of YouTube videos, like posts on Facebook or Instagram, and perform Google searches. All of these are owned by centralized companies. For example, Meta and Google are collecting data about us so they can serve us better content, which in return would make us stay longer on their websites. So why do they do that? Well, the answer is quite straightforward. Because they can make more money if we stay on their websites longer. And that brings us to the biggest problem with Web 2, and that is the lack of privacy and the fact that total control is in the hands of middlemen, the big corporations. And to discard that whole centralized system, Web 3 comes into play. Web 3 is also known as decentralized web, and it is the third and the latest phase of the internet. Web 3 is built on peer-to-peer networks of computers that talk to each other without middlemen. All of the data in Web 2 is controlled by the big tech companies, such as Google, Apple, Meta, or Microsoft. In the decentralized web, no single person or a company owns any data or information about anyone or anything. Everything is completely visible and connected to the public. The whole point of Web 3 is that data is shared rather than owned. So why exactly is Web 3 better? The centralized internet relies on servers that can go down at any time or they can be hacked, whereas a decentralized internet relies on a peer-to-peer network built by a community of users. Their interconnected devices host the internet rather than depending on a group of centralized, high-powered users. In short, if we really had to summarize this and dumb this down, we could say that Web 1.0 was all about reading the content. It was just about consuming. Web 2.0 was about reading and writing, or rather about the interaction, social media networks, and so on. But the data was owned by companies. In Web 3.0, we can read data, we can write data, but we also own the data. That's the whole point. Now that we understand these differences, let's jump straight to the roadmap. Unfortunately, at the time of recording, there aren't a lot of good resources to learn Web3 and blockchain technologies. And that's why I've taken the time to gather the best online videos, courses, and websites and put together the best Web 3.0 and Solidity development roadmap for you. Once again, these comprehensive guides are linked down in the description. Pause this video right now, scroll down, and download the guide. Once you're done, pull it side by side with this video, and then you can press play. The first step of our journey is that you should have Web 2 skills. Most people make one mistake to dive straight into smart contracts without having a technical background in web development. Blockchain technologies are built on top of web technologies, so you can't learn Web 3 if you don't have a solid understanding of what Web 2 is. So, before digging deeper into Web 3, better understand the fundamentals of the web in general. If you're building blockchain applications, you'll need to create web apps that will talk to these smart contracts. So, all of this is interconnected. Your Web 2 skills, like React, Next.js, or just basic JavaScript, will be hugely beneficial because you'll have to connect your decentralized applications to your regular web apps. If you're new to web technologies in general, below this video, there's going to be a link to another roadmap, but this time teaching you the basics of the web. Once you have the basics down, we can move to our second step, which is to learn the fundamentals of blockchain. As a Web3 developer, you need to understand what is blockchain, how it works, and why do we even use it. You need to understand the main point of why blockchain even exists, and you need to learn the core fundamentals. So a blockchain is a network of computers connected in some way, and they collectively run what is called a blockchain client. Let me explain this in simpler terms. Blockchain is a chain of blocks. These blocks are linked together using cryptography. The chain of blocks can be considered a distributed digital ledger. Each block contains a cryptographic hash of the previous block, a timestamp, and transaction data. Blockchain technology is not only related to crypto coins. To learn and master the basics of blockchain technology, first we need to learn the fundamentals. We need to learn the foundations of the blockchain and how the blockchain technology works. We need to learn how to interact with the blockchain. We also need to gain an understanding of the tools we can use on the Ethereum blockchain. We need to learn how to connect a web application to the blockchain, how to create smart contracts and decentralized applications, and finally, how to deploy and test Ethereum networks. We're going to talk about all of these topics in this video. I know this is a lot, but don't worry. We're going to talk about all of these topics in this video. And also, additional materials, courses, lectures, and videos are going to be linked in the roadmap down below. There, you'll be able to find additional resources that you can practice your knowledge on. Now, there are many different blockchains. There isn't just one. For example, the Ethereum blockchain is the recommended blockchain to start with. One of the best reasons to start on the Ethereum blockchain is that there is a lot of technical support for it. Its developer team offers great community support. So, if you're deciding which blockchain client to start with, Ethereum blockchain is the answer. The third step in our journey is to learn about smart contracts. A smart contract is a software stored on a blockchain-based platform that automatically executes an agreement. Smart contracts are how you can program the blockchain to perform a specific set of instructions, like you're telling the blockchain exactly what to do. Smart contracts enable you to exchange anything of value while also eliminating the middleman. The self-executing feature of a smart contract is what makes it very important. But you might think that this can also be done in Web2. It's just a self-executing piece of code. Why do we even need smart contracts? And the answer is that the code in Web2 can easily be manipulated. Smart contracts are self-verifying, self-executing, and tamper-resistant. The smart contract code cannot be changed, which in technical terms means that it is immutable. Smart contracts could be used for banking, insurance, copyright, and many other sectors. Smart contracts are robust. They can do everything, from creating your own NFTs, cryptocurrencies, and handling the backend of decentralized applications. IBM had a great definition for smart contract, so here it is. Smart contracts are simply programs stored on a blockchain that runs when predetermined conditions are met. They are typically used to automate an agreement's execution so that all participants can be immediately sure of the outcome without any intermediaries' involvement or time loss. As you can see, they are incredibly efficient and fair to all sides of the agreement. If you want to dive deeper into learning about smart contracts, I suggest learning about the basics, the life cycle of the smart contract, and how we can interact with smart contracts using Web3.js. Oh, and by the way, I'm creating a JavaScript Mastery Pro course where I'll teach you how to build an NFT marketplace application. There, we're going to create our own smart contracts in Solidity from scratch. The course is not yet out, but if you're watching this video after quite some time after the release date, it is possible that the course is now out. So check the description. Maybe it's there, but if it's not, stay tuned. It's coming really, really soon. The fourth step in our Web3 journey is to learn Solidity. Because knowing how to write smart contracts is essential in every single blockchain application. So, which programming language can we use to write smart contracts? It's Solidity. Of course, there are some other programming languages as well, but don't worry, because learning Solidity doesn't mean that you are restricted to the Ethereum blockchain only. It will serve you well on other blockchains. Solidity is the primary programming language for writing smart contracts for the Ethereum blockchain. So, understanding Solidity is crucial. Solidity is also a relatively new programming language, and it's a combination of a few languages. The creators of Solidity got inspired by JavaScript, Java, C++, Rust, and many other languages, therefore making Solidity amazingly versatile and intuitive. As you start to write code in Solidity, you'll notice that it is similar to JavaScript. It's going to make sense almost as it is written in pure English. So don't think that you have to learn a whole new language from scratch. Hopefully, it's going to make sense immediately. Here is a small code sample of a Solidity programming language. As you can see, in here, we're defining a smart contract called Hello World. It has just one function, which is public, and simply returns a string hello contracts. This is a really simple example, but if you want to learn more about the syntax of Solidity, I'd highly recommend checking out the Solidity cheat sheet down below. The fifth step in our journey is compiling, testing, and deploying smart contracts. That is an essential part, because as we know, once the smart contracts are deployed, they are immutable. So it is really important to test them out before deploying. For testing, there are 3 different testing libraries I recommend: Mocha, Chai, and Ganache. And once you test these out, you're ready to deploy them. And for deployment purposes, I would recommend Hardhat, Infura, or Truffle. Once your smart contracts are deployed, you are ready to move to the 6th step, and that is to learn more about decentralized applications. Once you build and deploy your smart contracts, you'll need to create a friendly user interface at the front end so that any user can use it. Remember earlier when I said that you should have Web2 skills before starting with blockchain development? Well, that is it. But what even is a decentralized application? Well, in simple words, dApps, or decentralized applications, are just applications that run on a blockchain. They are decentralized, they are free from the control and interference of a single authority. They keep users' data out of the hands of these organizations. Just like cryptocurrency is decentralized money, dApps are decentralized applications. A decentralized application can be a mobile or a web app. In the current state of Web3, it's mostly a web app though. dApps can cover various use cases, such as social media apps, where no big company is taking the user's data, such as e-commerce for payments, or even banking. For example, in a decentralized social media application, a person can post an image on the blockchain, and when the image is published, no one can delete that image, not even the owner or the creator of the social media application. That's the power of decentralized web. The web app is usually just like your regular web application with HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. But when building a decentralized application, there are 2 additional tasks: the integration with the blockchain and the integration with the wallet. So for that, you can use a JavaScript library called Web3.js, which is helpful and easy to use. The alternative to using Web3.js would be to connect your smart contracts manually, which is a bit more work, but is also doable. Now that you know what dApps are, we can move to the 7th step, which is to learn about MetaMask or any other crypto wallet. Blockchain wallets help people exchange funds quickly. Transactions are incredibly secure, as they are cryptographically signed. A wallet is used to interact with the blockchain. Using a wallet is similar to sending or receiving money through PayPal or any other payment gateway, but you use cryptocurrency instead. There are a lot of crypto wallets out there, but my recommendation would be first to learn how to integrate your smart contracts with MetaMask wallet, and then later learn about all the other ones. MetaMask allows users to access their Ethereum wallet through a browser extension or a mobile app, which can be used to interact with decentralized applications. Now that you learned about blockchain, smart contracts, and wallets, you are ready to learn Web3.js and Ethers.js to connect your decentralized application. As we mentioned before, you'll need to connect your front-end application and your blockchain smart contract. The 2 popular choices that implement the Ethereum API are Web3.js and Ethers.js. Web3.js is a collection of libraries that allow you to connect with a local or remote Ethereum node using HTTP, WebSockets, and all other communication protocols. Ethers.js is a lightweight JavaScript library that connects your JavaScript frontend with smart contracts and essentially is an alternative to Web3.js. Both of these libraries are excellent choices. The next step is to practice your skills by building a blockchain application. After learning the theory, you should get your hands dirty with the technologies we've just mentioned. Practice, practice, practice. To keep learning effectively, you have to challenge your capabilities. Take up a project well beyond your capabilities and stick to that project until you complete it. By the end of just 4 to 5 such assignments, you'll be more proficient than most other developers in the field. Once again, if you're watching this video after the release, it's possible that my NFT marketplace application is now out. That would be the best way to start your Web3 journey from scratch all the way to building an amazing, huge NFT marketplace that implements smart contracts, blockchain development from scratch all the way to deployment. Mark your calendar because I'll definitely keep posting about it once it's out. And the last step is to build your portfolio. When you're comfortable working with blockchain and decentralized applications, you should consider building your portfolio because a portfolio website shows evidence and expertise of your field. It can also help build trust with clients because they have direct evidence of the quality of your work. A portfolio is crucial if you're looking for a blockchain-related job. So once again, in the guide below, you'll have a lot of different portfolio blockchain project ideas that you can start implementing right away. With that said, this was just a short introduction to everything that Web 3.0 has to offer. Of course, I couldn't cover everything in this video, but as I've mentioned, I've tried to include as many resources as possible in the guides below. There, you'll be able to find many other courses, lectures, and videos about Web3. With that said, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and have a wonderful day.